Okay, this is the second time I'm trying to start this video. I just tried to start it a minute ago, but then like the soccer team, I'm on like one of the, the group parent texts, the group messages things. Anyways, I'm getting like blown up by the soccer team. So I'm like, I'm just gonna restart. So this is take two, if that's actually such a thing. It saves me editing later. So last week I was doing a live video, and in the live video I was asked if I'm raising the boys basically differently than my parents raised me. Like, that's just kind of the gist of it. We were talking about, at the time we were talking about punishment. So I'm going to kind of like gear it towards like in a punishment point of view. Last week, Drake was a naughty patati and took a bat to Deacon's iPad and broke it. So not fun. Not fun for anybody. That was super sucky. So I hate when my kids misbehave because I hate punishing them. With that said, there's some things where I'm raising my kids a lot like I was raised. There's a lot, though, where they have it so much easier than I did. I grew up in the Navy. My dad is a really strict hard ass. I mean, there's no nice way to put it. He is, when we were kids, oh my gosh. And it was a little better for my sister than it was for me, but my parents were, my dad specifically, very strict. And we were, gosh, I think back and we were like such well-behaved kids. I mean, neither of us ever got in any trouble. I remember going over to like my great aunt's house for hours and we would just sit there like ladies, just the whole time. Like, I couldn't imagine my kids doing that, which makes me think I'm totally screwing them up. But they were, I mean, we were really good kids. And if we stepped out of line, we totally got our butts spanked. So let me tell you, we stayed in line. And there were times where, I can think of 2 times where we had punishments that were not spankings. We were never really grounded. There was one time where I cut my sister's hair. I think we were maybe a little younger than my boys are now, and I cut my sister's hair and I got grounded from scissors for 2 weeks. So that happened. That was one time we got grounded for something. Another time we got grounded, and I don't remember the crime, but the punishment was that we were grounded from the dishwasher for 2 weeks. So that was our punishment. I cannot tell you what we did to get in trouble for that one, but that was it. And then in the summers, like, we were growing up in the early 90s, like we stayed home alone and we fought. So we would call my mom, be like, she's doing this, well, she's doing that, and we'd bicker. So then we got book reports. So we had, the encyclopedias, because internet like didn't exist. There was no such thing as Google back when I was a kid. So we had all of our encyclopedias, and my mom would give us a topic every day, and we'd have to write a book report every single day. And that was her way of correcting our behavioral problems together while we were home alone. So that was kind of like my childhood. But if there was anything else, if we were mouthy or if we lied or anything else, we got spanked. So that was my childhood. Now, to compare, which, by the way, it was perfectly fine. Let me tell you, I was a really good kid. I didn't disrespect my parents. I was an angel. Now, there's me. Modern 2018 mom. Well, I became a mom in 2009. So, spanking is awful. Spanking is like ruining people, and it's destroying children, and it makes them, have emotional, mental problems later on in life, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, you've probably read a billion articles about this. I did back in like 2009 and 2010 when I said I wasn't going to do any of this stuff. But, this is such a horrible vlog. Totally throwing my parents underneath the bus. I am totally like bashing on modern parents. No, I can tell you right now that the discipline that I had as a kid made me a much better kid than my parenting style. Now, I do use the corner, and that does work. That was my boyfriend implemented that one. I have to say that before we met, like, I didn't have a whole lot of need for punishment. My kids were a lot younger. I mean, Drake was 2. So the punishments then were pretty simple. I mean, when you're punishing a 2-year-old, it's a lot different than punishing, say, like a 7, 8, 9-year-old. So that was simple. He really is a strong believer in the corner, and I do love it. So if my kids have a really hard time with like not arguing back or not wanting to understand what I'm saying or just kind of being a brat face. So that's when they get put in the corner, and then they can come out when they're ready to talk and be like sweet and kind and whatever. there have been a few times where I have just instinctually, and this may be because of my upbringing, but totally spanked their butts. And let me tell you, nothing works faster. I hate it. I hate doing it. I will do anything possible before I do that because I don't like it. I feel awful. I mean, I remember the first time I spanked Gage. It was, this would have been in 2004. Just bought our first house, got my first dog. You know, I'm like 3 months into being a dog mom. Gage was a total jerk face. He goes running from me because that's all he did was try to run away from me all the time. He goes running from me and almost gets hit by a FedEx truck. My adrenaline's pumping. I'm super duper stressed. I'm like really angry because he wasn't listening to me and almost got killed. And I totally smacked him and I cried for hours because I hit my dog and I just felt like the worst person ever. So let me tell you, it was like kind of the same with my kids, but like my dog kind of like eased me into things. Shouldn't compare those two either. But yeah, there's been a few times when Drake took it back to the iPad. I swear to you, like I was so angry because I had just paid to have the screen fixed 6 days earlier and Deacon was so beside himself upset. And yeah, that was the maddest I've ever been at Drake. So just kind of like instinctually, I just like went downstairs and I was so mad. I totally spanked his butt. I put him in the corner and I mean, not hard. I think they laugh at me over it because my parents, it was really hard. But yeah, so that happened. And then the corner, what else did I do? I do punish them. I do take things away. So for example, before Drake lost his iPad completely, he was grounded from it like maybe the day before he got off groundation from it. So it was taken away for a few days because he was having a hard time getting his teeth brushed and getting dressed and functioning, like becoming like, you know, I don't know, productive, like having any productivity in his day whatsoever. He was just like zoned out. I'm like, okay, iPad's gone. Like until you can get these basic like hygiene things figured out, like you don't need your iPad in the morning. So he had just gotten it back like for that day. It was so bad. So yeah, that was some of the things. So let's see what else. So yeah, we had a few things taken from us, mostly just the dishwasher and scissors. I bought my own car, so it wasn't like they could take it away, but I never did, like I said, we never really did anything bad. We were really good kids. I did sneak out of the house a few times, which I've since admitted to my parents. I think one time, I feel like it was more than one time, but one time it was for sure to go frog catching with my friends. And then, I mean, I don't even know if there were any the other times. I can't even remember. I know that I got pulled over once, but I was driving. One of my friends was like really drunk at a party and they called me and I went and picked them up. I got pulled over for having a headlight out, explained the situation, totally ratted out where the party was and took my friend home. So that happened once. Gosh, what else? Yeah, and I don't even know how I'll handle that stuff with my kids. And I don't want to say it's different between boys and girls, but I feel like it's kind of maybe a little bit different. I don't know. Yeah. Is that everything? There. That's everything, right? So now you know everything about my childhood, my upbringing, how I punish the kids. I would say the corner is our number one. I don't know how much longer that's going to really work, especially with Deacon being 9. I can't imagine like putting like an 11 or 12-year-old in the corner. I don't know what the punishment would be. I mean, you could say, here's like my, in conclusion, I would say that you could say, I'm going to be this kind of parent, I'm going to do this. I mean, I'll do it weekly. I'll be like, okay, this week I'm going to be more consistent with this. I'm going to do this better. And then, you know, like a month later, that's no longer going to work. So like, you kind of have to change gears. So like, I mean, I feel like just as a parent, you just have to grow and you got to take each month as it comes and just go accordingly, because I don't even know what else to do. You say phases, like, oh, my baby's going through a phase. Let me tell you, my 9-year-old is still going through phases. Like, there's some months where he's just wonderful, and then there's some months where he's just a total asshole. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? It's like pre-hormonal crap. Like, take it somewhere else. I don't like it. But yeah, anyways, so that hopefully answers more questions than you ever could dream of asking. I'm sure I'll get judged up the wazoo for this one, but you know, it's really case by case. I would say that's my parenting style, case by case. And there's some things that I do, like Deacon one time like was mad at me. This is a few years ago, and he punched me right in the gut and knocked the wind out of me, and I just shoved him down. It was like the first time he bit me while he was breastfeeding, and he had teeth and he bit me really hard and like latched down and just smiled about it, and I just shoved him right off. Like, I was so mad. And I'm not like a instinctually like an aggressive person, but there's some times where you just get hurt and you by instinct, I mean, it's like when a bug is biting you and you go like this, like you don't mean to necessarily kill it, but you're gonna kill it doing this. So it's kind of that thing. So you can't judge, right? Like, nobody can judge, because who knows? Next month it might be that way for you. Anyways, that's it. So hopefully that answers your questions, and I will talk to you guys really soon. I was gonna do a thread up haul, but only 3 of my items shipped. So I started to do the thread up haul, and then I realized I was missing 7 things. So a 3-item thread up haul, womp womp, lame. So anyways, that's it. I will talk to you guys really soon.